I thought that last year's had a little bit more kind of sweetness coming in and kind of taming the funk down a little bit. And this one's a little more funk forward, if you will. But it's
you're absolutely right.
What is up?
Hey guys, it is Scotch for Dummies.
4 guys in a Scotch journey to help you with your next Scotch purchase. And I swear, I hope it's one of these.
It could be.
I guarantee.
I bet this is horrible. You shouldn't buy it at all.
Stay away from this.
Be prudent. It's gonna be good.
So what do we got here?
We have Kilkerran 8. It is a bottle
specifically
cask strength, 56.9%. I'm giving you that information because that is very specific to this bottle.
Because all the tubes look alike.
Yeah, they all look exactly the same. They say the only way you're going to tell the difference is that ABV on the side.
When you go to the liquor store, you're going to see these and freak out and get them. Don't, because look at that ABV because it's so hard to give away.
If you have the ability, open the can and look at the bottle because there are older Kilkerran 8s out there on the shelf still that are bourbon finished, are matured, and they look like bourbon matured whiskeys. They're not this sherry bomb that this is going to be.
I think the only thing that gives it away is the ABV, right? It looks exactly the same.
It is. Everything looks the
same.
I
like that Andrew poured him and I heavy.
I noticed that.
Sorry, guys.
Yeah.
So
we got to get through tonight.
Is the name of the brand. It comes from the Glengyle distillery. Every year they put the Kilkerran 8 out. Actually, I think COVID screwed the latest one up, so I shouldn't say every year. But this is the latest one that we could get in the States. Now, I take that back. This is the latest one that's out.
Yes. It's this year's version.
This year's the most recent one. It is not in the States yet. So, and maybe that's not true. Maybe it's showing up here. I have not found it yet, and I'm ready. When I do, I'm going to be clearing the shelf.
From what I understand, that it's technically able to be here. It's not actually distributed yet.
Right. That's what they told us. Someone from the distillery told us, and this was 2 months ago or better.
That was longer.
Yeah.
So
they're sitting on the launch
COVID did get in the way a little bit. So let's back up. We did have the previous bottle the year before this, and it was 57.1. Actually,
Scotch of the year.
Scotch of the year. Got all around the
I'm pretty sure we helped influence basically getting every bottle off the shelf.
Absolutely loved it.
That was our first review of 2020.
Yeah.
January 2020.
We all called it when we sipped it. We're like, oh, this is probably like the Scotch to beat.
It goes downhill from here.
Yeah, and it did. Dude, that was delicious bottle.
Yeah.
So
delicious.
This is the follow-up to that. And to be honest with you, the fact that they followed it up with another sherry bomb, I was really excited and surprised because I didn't expect that.
So I spoke to them, and I guess they're doing this a yearly thing now. This is 2020's version. They're probably making next year
sherry bomb too, though. It's all going to be. It's going to be continue to be
nice.
Right. Because I'll be honest with you guys, the 57.1 version of this, the one before, disappeared. Quick,
it was so good.
You can still find the one before that, the bourbon one. It's still on shelves right now.
Yeah.
And this one, I have a feeling, no matter what we say in this, is going to disappear. It's already disappeared on online stores.
Yeah, you have to be quick to trigger to get it online.
Yeah.
Right.
And you find
I mean, it's one of those boutique. Like this is seriously turning into almost like bourbon level of do they have it yet?
Do they have Pappy?
Look in the tube, see what the ABV is.
It's almost like searching. Yeah. So this is a Campbelltown. This should, if in theory, give you your sherry funk.
Right. I mean, this is next door to Springbank.
Yep.
Right.
Should.
So it smells funky.
Does it?
Oh,
okay. So
sweet
hello,
funk.
lover.
Sweet funk. Get down with your bad self.
Oh my goodness.
So if you don't like funk in your whiskey, if you like bourbons and the sweetness, this won't be for you. But if you like potent, powerful whiskeys, if you like your coffee black, if you like your beer dark like Guinness or a Murphy's or something like that, this may be for you.
But if you like Campbelltown whiskey, I mean, you smell this blindfolded and know it's Campbelltown. Right off the bat,
no doubt. No, you obviously have to have Campbelltown and what it tastes like. Yes, no doubt. It leaves its marks. But on the nose, I mean, I've got charred bananas fostered, like just that sweet banana taste and charring, smoky with a little bit of sourness on the nose.
Oh, it's exquisite.
They threw this before they walked in the room.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
So you're right. There's sweet fruit cherries on it. The palate through the mid palate becomes this smoky, just slightly smoky, charred flavor. It somewhat loses the funk, that sweat sock kind of funk on the palate, but it's so delicate on those flavors going through the mid palate that it stuns me that something with this powerful a nose changes on the palate.
It's rich too. I mean, the initial palate punch is just this richness. I mean,
and we haven't wanted this at all.
It's almost an orchestra.
You almost don't need
There's
to.
so many things going on, and they all kind of just come together to harmonize into this one thing. But it's so much happening that it's hard to almost pick out exactly what's going on at any one time.
And the beauty behind this too, I think it's only around $70 if you can get it. Now that may go up.
57 pounds, I think, is what it's really coming in at over in the UK when it hit the online stores months ago.
Yep. Plus $30.
That would seem to be a bargain for the complexity of flavor to get out of this.
I'd like to have a couple more bottles of this for sure already. I can tell you right now. It's gonna get good scores. I can tell you right now.
The one thing I don't know, and they obviously don't put it on here. We might have it in an email and I've forgotten. Is the number of bottles that they produced out of this?
Oh yeah,
I don't know.
I want to say the 57.1 was somewhere around either 6,900 or 9,600 bottles. And I just have to assume that this is probably similar.
I want to say 96.
I was close to 10,000. I thought I really did. This is very similar to last year's, to the 57.1. To be honest with you, I'm drinking from memory on that 57.1, although my memory's pretty good because I have quite a bit of those bottles. But there is a difference. They are different. Definitely, they're not the same whiskey.
No, this
I don't think this is much.
This is basically Kilkerran and a lighter version of the original Kilkerran with decent 20 mixed in.
So describe that. What do you mean?
It's got more bread, more the burnt toast, more of that funk that I'm looking for in a Campbelltown.
And so less sweetness, less cherries, less raisins, and things like that.
Yeah, I think the original Kilkerran, the one we have up there, I think is more charring than this is. This has more of the funk elements into it, which I absolutely love.
I will agree with that. The funk kind of hits you up front. The sweet parts kind of are around the sides a little bit more.
Almost bitter too.
I enjoyed the fact that I get those like black tea, dark chocolate notes, but it's got some fruit going on. There's sweetness, but it's not overwhelming. I thought that last year's had a little bit more kind of sweetness coming in and kind of taming the funk down a little bit. And this one's a little more funk forward, if you will. But it's
you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right.
It's nice because the funk fades a little bit, and then you get like some nice spicy notes going on as well. And so, I mean, it's got a lot of things going on. There's a lot of things to get balanced, but nothing seems disjointed or unharmonious. It all kind of flows very nicely. For an 8-year-old Scotch.
Yeah, I think that you're right. This does not have the rich, sweet mid palate like previous years does. So I would say this is to use common terms, I guess this has a lot fewer of the sweet PX kind of flavors into it and more of the deeper like oxidized Oloroso flavors into it. More leather, more of those kind of things as opposed to the sweetness, the grapes, those kind of things. So if you're a sweet freak, this may not be for you because this doesn't have a ton of sweetness. It is primarily the funkiness, there's the smokiness in that mid palate and the sweetness around the edge. I would agree with Sean on this.
I got cinnamon raisin toast.
Yeah.
I don't get that much sweetness in it.
I didn't either,
the water,
put a little water on it.
Oh, I didn't water this at all.
The water really mellows out that palate and gives that chocolate back in there where it wasn't as strong before.
Okay.
I'm ready to go.
I'll go. Yeah, I'm ready to.
Go ahead. Give me a go.
Yeah, I went first in the last. Killing me small.
So I'm gonna come out of the gate with a 4. Here's why. The price is perfect. I know it's not an age statement, but it's already the bar was set from the previous, and it matched it.
It's an 8-year.
It doesn't matter. It's still freaking good. It's a 4.
You don't need an age on it.
Oh yeah, you're right there. But anyway, it's freaking fantastic. It's fantastic. I want to do Arnold Schwarzenegger.
I don't know. Did I overwater?
No.
I don't know if you did or not. Actually.
I think I did.
Anywho, 4 for me. I mean, everything I love about this is if you know me, you know I love the burnt toast. The Deanston 20 is my go-to, and this has so many of the same quality elements of that Deanston 20 in it, with that Kilkerran love and Campbelltown funkiness of some of the chocolates. I think it's very approachable, neat, but with the water, it really mellows it out, and you get more of the dark chocolate, more of the fruit notes that I didn't have before. Probably letting it sit and open up by itself would give you all those elements as well. But it's complex, it's well-rounded, it's easy to drink. You've got things going on in your palate when you drink it, from the front to the back to the sides, the finish, the charring I love. I absolutely love this. I think it's one of those bottles that I'm actually going to go on a hunt again for them and see if I can find some. 4 for me.
All right.
Okay.
You want me to go, or are you ready?
Yeah, I'm still thinking.
All right.
Do.
All right, so I'm not going to start off with my number, although I think you know where I'm going.
I'll
tell you what,
Let's give it a 1.5.
The interesting thing about this is I'm really comparing this in my mind, in my memory, to the 57.1 version. And they are completely different whiskeys in my mind, in my palate.
I would agree.
The 57.1 is definitely more of a bold sherry bomb. Not to say this one doesn't have a lot of sherry influence. It does. But this one, the other one I gave a 4, and I loved it for its sherry bombness. I mean, it just came forward, punched me in the nose, and said, I'm a sherry lover, and you're going to love me. And it was a great marriage. This one, I'm going to give it a 4, but because it's not that, it's everything other than that. I've got the Campbelltown funk in it. I've got that PX sherry note in it. So it's not that deep, rich, but there's the sherryness that's there. It's sweet. It's got flavor. It's got ABV. When I water it, it's got the layers of the flavor come in. And honestly, over time, it's been sitting here for 5 minutes now. The funkness wore off on the nose a little bit. And I went in, but I can still taste the Campbelltown influence on it. It's just, it's the other one without the over-the-top sherry note. And I really think it's interesting. I mean, close your eyes, guys, and I honestly don't think you get tricked on a blind on this. And
No.
you're going to come in, you're going to be like, I know it's one of these 3 distilleries. It's
Yeah.
either a Kilkerran, a Hazelburn, or a Springbank.
Yeah.
And that's only 2
And
distilleries.
I'm pretty sure
So-
you go with Springbank
right,
or
right. So
Kilkerran.
I mean, I just think it's got everything you want, especially at the price point. I mean,
Yeah.
hell, I'm grateful it's got an age statement, but if it didn't, I wouldn't care. I don't give a
Right.
hoot about
Yeah.
that.
Right.
But
That's what I
for
was
the
trying to
price
say.
point, come on, man. If
Every day.
$70 for this, yeah, I'm gonna have 3 or 4 of them. So
Yeah, it's
if
a blow
you're
up of
not
flavor.
ready when you see one, call me. I am.
Yeah.
I gotta go for it because it's awesome, and now I'm damn
Everything.
excited about the next one.
Yeah.
I mean,
Me
that's
too.
2 out of the park.
They're doing
Yeah.
good.
So cheers to them.
Go ahead.
Is it me?
You.
All right. So I agree with you on a lot of this stuff because I was thinking about that other bottle, and I hate to make comparisons, but you're going to make comparisons, right? So this is the next up, and I agree with you that it doesn't have all of that sweet sherry notes, but what it does have is wonderful stuff. And I think the sherry is kind of just peppered in around the outside to kind of complement what's going on in the middle. The funk is prevalent in
It
this
is.
one. You know what I mean? Versus the last one where it was kind of tamed down a little bit. And I mean, it was there, but it was more about the sherry.
It was
influence.
overpowered.
This is much more like letting the funk come forward a little bit. The reason I was like kind of struggling with this a little bit was when I put water on it, I kind of lost a little bit. Like neat, it's delicious. Like there's no reason to put water
Straight
on
from
it.
the
It's
bottle.
fine. Yeah, I don't even know if I get a glass. You just hit it out of the bottle. But it's, I put water on it, and I wouldn't say that it got disjointed, but it just kind of lost a little bit. Like it was trying to find itself. And to me, that showed its age, right? Like
Oh, yeah.
it's an 8-year. So it's kind of one of those things where, you're talking to somebody and you're like, they seem a lot older than they are. They're just an old soul. And that's what this bottle feels
Oh,
like.
that's interesting.
You know what I mean? Is like
Right.
you
Old
walk up and you're
soul
like,
Scotch.
oh, you're a 20-year whiskey, right? And it's like, no, actually I'm an 8-year. I can't get into this.
You're like,
So-
I'm getting arrested.
Right. So, but I think that, in that just one instance, it just kind of showed its age. And I think that, I put a little bit more water on it and it kind of came back together and it's doing its thing. So, I mean, it is an 8-year-old whiskey, but for $70, like you're going to be hard pressed to find anything that's 57% ABV that's put together like this, that has the depth and character that this does. You're never going to find something like that. So I'm going to go ahead and give it a 4. I think that it's well worth the number. But like I said, when I put a little water on it, it showed its age just a little bit, and then it came back together. So, it's fine. I'm still going to drink it. It's fine.
So I would agree. This is a fantastic whiskey, but
dun dun dun.
this is even my wheelhouse. So this has that rich flavor, the smokiness, the funky going in there, but it's not as good as it could be.
The chink in the armor.
Yeah. So I would say that I'm going to compare it because we've had a 4. We've had multiple 4s, and the multiple 4s always have this amazing dynamic complexity that changes throughout the palate. You add water to it, it generally doesn't have any effect on it, and you just can't walk away from it. This one I can't walk away from because this is a fantastic whiskey, but it's not a 4 for me.
All right.
And for this reason,
So if you're walking away from it, I'll take it.
I'm not walking away from
Let me
it.
go ahead and just do this.
No, I will tell you.
Talk me through it.
This is a great whiskey if you like oxidized sherries and funk. If you like sweet whiskeys, this isn't for you. If you like delicate whiskeys, this isn't for you.
Fair enough.
If you like cab casks, this isn't for you. This is heavily peated whiskeys. This isn't for you. This is a fairly narrow flavor profile, and predominantly because the Campbelltown flavor is so dominant and doesn't really give way to anything else.
That's fair.
Because you can't get anything other than Campbelltown coming through. You can pull other flavors out, but you can't get away from the Campbelltown. There's no subtleties. You can't water it, all that kind of stuff. So it's a niche whiskey, and because of that, even though it's in my wheelhouse, I'm going to give it a 3.5.
Now, to be fair to that,
boy out of Kentucky, you just can't take the Kentucky out of the boys.
To be fair, it's really kind of the same thing. We're finding something. He doesn't like the decent 20 either.
That's correct.
Is the funkiness. He thinks
No,
you like it.
Over oxidized Oloroso, I'm not, that I don't like the burnt toast as much as you do. So that's the interesting thing. So burnt toast, the decent 20 is your absolute go-to whiskey. I won't drink it because I don't appreciate it like he does. So I'm not going to take his decent 20.
No, I think your points are fair.
This is where it's a great whiskey. It's absolutely with 3.5. If you find a bottle, buy it because it's worth it. But it's not the broad, fantastic, everybody in the world should have whiskey because it is fairly niche. So 3.5 for me. It's gonna break the chain.
I'm not gonna argue with you at all.
I think you're fine with that. I agree with that.
Absolutely. We've got 3 4s and a 3.5.
Yeah, so that's like 3.875.
It didn't quite match up to its older sibling.
Correct.
Right. Last year.
It is not as good. It's not as balanced.
Well, this is. I think the key here is it's a little different, but this is bring the funk compared to the old.
And for $70,
that's
if you
why I
can
love
find
it,
it, you should totally.
Yeah.
And I want to be clear. My 4 is different because than the other 5. I love the fact that this was different. It brings that funk, and that's what it is. That's what I'm on. That's why I gave it. But for $70, can't go wrong.
Can't go wrong.
Great review, Andrew.
3.5.
I appreciate it.
Cheers, guys.
3.875.
Thanks for watching. Hit that like button. We'll see you guys next time.
Cheers.
Cheers.